Hello everybody, welcome back. I am the Tronic and this is my Elder Scrolls 6 Theory series, and in this episode we're going to continue about the Deadra. And in this episode is mainly going to be about the more in-depth about each plot I predict each Deadra would have if they were to be the main focus in the next game. Now in previous games, if you haven't seen my other video, in previous games that the Deadra, at least one, had a major theme, had a major storyline in his or her part of the game, major story, and unlike the other Deadra, he were just basically just touched upon with certain quests. So, like for example, was Dagon in Oblivion, and we could say Hermaeus Mora in Skyrim. So in this video, I'll describe what would the plot of each Deadra prince would be in the next game if they were to have the have that role. So first I'm going to start off with Azura. Now Azura is known as the goddess of dawn and dusk, and at the moment I believe Azura has already had a major role in Morrowind in that Tribunal DLC, and so I highly doubt that she's going to have another major role quest anytime soon, and it'll probably just be another minor quest. So in terms of her having one, is likely not going to happen. So too bad for Azura fans, but Azura probably won't have another one for a while. My next Deadric prince I'm going to talk about is Clavicus Vile. Now Clavicus is a shapeshifter. He grants powers and wishes. He was in Skyrim. He required you to go fetch an item with his dog, Barbas, and when you bring that item back, he allowed you to grant a power, but then he never agreed to anything you said, so then eventually just gave you a helmet instead. And he basically just, he loves to see mortals like being tricked and fooled, and he gets amusement out of mortals being just having a bad time. So in terms of that, I don't think he's gonna have anything major on the next game, because he doesn't really have any specific goals. He likes just amusement out of mortals just being crushed or something, or just being manipulated in some way. The next guy I'm going to talk about is Dagon. Now Dagon, really quick, obviously he's already been in Oblivion. He is the god or demon or whatever of destruction, and he basically had his role already in Oblivion, in which he tried to take over Tamriel. Maybe in a future game where maybe there's an Aedra versus Deadra plot, he will probably be a primary leader in terms of that war. Now if you haven't heard about my previous idea in my first Deadra video, please go check that as well for more information on that Deadra versus Aedra war. Alright, now the next thing is Hermaeus Mora. And obviously, again, Hermaeus Mora already had his little, storyline major role in Skyrim with the Dragonborn, and we probably won't see him again for a while, because we mainly just immediately see him. We could probably just count him out. But he, if you don't know, is the god of knowledge, or master of knowledge, and maybe he'll help and play a major role in the Deadra side of some sort of Aedra versus Deadra war. Next person I'm going to talk about is Hircine. Now Hircine has had also a role in Blood Moon. I forgot to mention that in my previous video, but Hircine has also had a kind of a role in Blood Moon, and has a pretty decent appearance in most games. So in terms of Hircine, he'll probably have another moderate quest line and decent appearance in the next game, but he probably won't have a major role, because that's what it seems to be the trend for him. But if there was to be a role, you probably just go to his world and maybe hunt or something. Maybe be a big contest or something, or maybe he has to come to the world and to Tamriel and maybe have some quest in terms of hunting. But that's all I could really think about him having as of now. The next people I'm going to talk about is Jiggalag slash Sheograth. Now, Jiggalag slash Sheograth, what I mean by that is, they're both the same god, but not. They were split apart a long time ago in one of the Oblivion DLCs, and you already saw a lot of big storyline with them also. So having them being part of a big quest in the next game is highly unlikely again, in my opinion. So seeing Jiggalag maybe rise again or request the player to gain more power for him once again could be a possible quest, however. Alright, next guy I'm going to talk about is Molag Bal. Now, he already had, again, another Deadric Prince that already had a major role, was an ESO, which he also kind of took over the world again like Dagon did, and tried to stop the clans from taking over Cyrodiil and trying to, because he is in fact the guy of domination, I believe, and he's the main god of domination and enslavement. So we already saw his major role and his major goal with enslaving the people at the very beginning and trying to do all that. So we probably won't see much of Molag Bal in the next game either. The next Deadric Prince I will talk about is Malakath. Now, if you don't know about Malakath, Malakath is the god of the orcs. Malakath is also the god of the spurned and ostracized. I don't know how to say that word, but I got it written down here because I saw it before, and that's what it said before on what he was, so I'm just gonna go with it. But Malakath is the god of the orcs. So maybe if there was some orc questline in terms of making them more respectable and making them have maybe a land of their own, you could probably help Malakath in that matter. But Malakath used to be an Deadra known as Trinimac, so maybe Malakath will have a quest in terms of making him Trinimac once again. So there's a good possibility for Malakath to have a significant role in a game nearby. Alright, next person I'm going to talk about is Meridia. Now, Meridia, she is one of the Deadric Princes, like Malakath, who are considered a good Deadric Prince, in terms of that she doesn't really seem to be fond of moral torture, or, mortal torture is what I mean. And she hates the undead. She just wants the world to be rid of undead, and she wants it to be clean and full of life. And she hates everything that disrupts life. So she's seen as one of the better Deadric Princes. And in my opinion, if there was a Deadra versus Deadra war, she would probably be neutral in that aspect, and she probably won't go against the Deadra as much, or against the mortals who have helped her get rid of the undead, and she might even go against the Deadra, as some people have wanted her to basically become an Deadra, but she still is a Deadra in some terms, as she still has that kind of evil route to her, but I can't really explain that much. Alright, this is the 10th one now. The 10th Deadric Prince is Mafala, and Mafala Mafala is the goddess of manipulation, and she's also the spider god, I think. And Mafala is basically associated with the assassins and with the Assassin's Creed, not Assassin, I was about to say Assassin's Creed, the Dark Brotherhood, and the Dark Brotherhood, basically she's apparently affiliated with them and the Morag Tong, and so I think she'll mainly stick to a plot with them instead of having a major quest line for anything else. You'd probably just stick to the Dark Brotherhood or the Morag Tong in terms of questline. So you probably won't see any major questline outside of that for her. Alright, now after Mafala, we've got Nocturnal. Now Nocturnal is the Deadric Prince of Darkness and Secrecy and thievery. Now, she is the main, spiritual goddess of the Thieves Guild and the Nightingales. So we probably won't see much of her in other terms besides that. She'll probably only have a major quest line in that as well. So we already saw her in the previous game with the Nightingales, and so she probably won't have another major role unless it's also with the Nightingales or with the Thieves Guild. So she probably won't have anything else to deal with any other kind of Deadra quest. Alright, Namira. We're going to talk about Namira. Now, Namira is the patron of repulsive things. She's also a carnivorous, the god of carnivorous things, and carnivorous people, I guess. Because in the quest line in Skyrim, you basically had that guy on the table and you're supposed to make him die or something, and then that woman over there like feasts on him or something, something like that. So yeah, you have to bring that guy to her, and then she feasts on him, and she tells you to feast on him too, and then you're part of Namira's like clan or something, something like that. So it's like, so in terms of seeing something like that, I doubt that we'll see any bigger quest with Namira anytime soon, because that's all we really know about her, is that she is just the patron of repulsive things. The next thing we're going to talk about is Pyrite. Now, Pyrite, or Pyrite, I think that's how you pronounce it, is known as a Taskmaster. He's Taskmaster. I sometimes mix up my words. The Taskmaster, and he's also the god of pestilence and disease. So I think because he's also referred to as the weakest of the Deadra, he could have a quest with you in terms of trying to make him a stronger Deadra, or maybe he will have a quest line where there's a bunch of disease ravaging the lands and you have to confront him to be able to stop it or something like that. So that's a pretty obvious quest for Pyrite to be involved in. The next guy I'm going to talk about is Sanguine. He is the god of hedonism, debauchery, and darker natures of people. So, if drinking, for example, would be a darker nature, it would, and basically he was that guy that you had a drinking contest with, but you won, but he ended up making you go on this whole quest to get your life back in shape. But he basically, he enjoys seeing mortals being played with, and he likes seeing them being tricked and having to go through things. So he's also kind of like Clavicus Vile. So in terms of seeing him having a major quest and something else is also kind of highly unlikely. Alright, the next person I'm going to talk about is Vermina. Now, Vermina is the god of dreams and nightmares, or the Deadra Prince of dreams and nightmares. I don't know why I'm saying god for all this, because they're not really gods, but they are eternal beings. Anyway, they're of extreme power of some sort. But anyway, dreams of nightmares. So she could have some quest line in terms of maybe making the whole world having nightmares or something, and then obviously you have to go to some realm, some dark evil dream world or something, or her realm herself, and stop her in some manner like that. So that's an obvious quest for her to have. Alright, the final person I'm going to talk about is a person I believe is going to have this quest, and that is Boethia. Now, Boethia is the major rival of Molag Bal, and so because Molag Bal was the previous major role Deadra in the previous game, I believe Molag Bal. So because of that, I think Boethia would be also a likely choice for the next game. And Boethia is the god of deceit, conspiracy, and treason. So maybe we would have some sort of plot in terms of having treason against the Empire, or some sort of like that, or conspiring and overthrowing the Empire in some way for her in terms of Deadra-ness or something like that. Because the Empire is falling apart at the moment with the Stormcloaks and the white gold concordate, and I think that would even add more to it. So I think she is highly likely going to be the next major Deadric prince. So thanks guys for watching my video, and please comment and subscribe and like. Share your ideas below. What Deadric prince do you think will be the most likely choice? Please tell me and tell us all. Thank you for watching my video, watching my other videos on the Elder Scrolls 6 theory series, and tell me which theory you'd like to see next.